welcome everyone to AARP Wyoming's Video Voter Guide Series for 2024. I'm Tom Laycock with AARP Wyoming, and today we're joined by Charles Schoenwolf, who's running for the Wyoming Legislature in Senate District 30, located in Natrona County. AARP has a proud 40-year history of nonpartisan voter engagement and does not endorse or oppose candidates, nor does AARP make contributions to political campaigns or candidates at any level. Instead, we ask questions so our members understand where the candidates stand on important issues and can make their own decisions on Election Day. Today, we'll ask Mr. Schoenwolf 3 questions, allowing for a 1-minute and 30-second response to each. Then we'll give him 2 minutes to make his pitch to the voters of Senate District 30. So, Mr. Schoenwolf, here's our first question. Over the last 2 years, the Wyoming Legislature has made providing property tax relief for its citizens a priority. In your view, what's the most efficient way to provide relief while balancing revenue needs for our schools, counties, and other entities that rely on property tax to maintain stable funding?
All right. Well, first, thank you, Tom, for having me and let me have this opportunity to speak. I'm a member myself. Well, one is that I support the exemption that on the first couple $100,000 of each property not to be taxed. I'm also a supporter of refunding part of the tax back to the citizens that just got taken over the last couple of years. It was such a high increased amount. Also, I support there being a restrictive percentage yearly that it can't go over so much tax each time. And also, I believe there should be an exemption after a certain age that you don't pay property tax at all. Sadly, the governor vetoed some stuff and measures that really would have helped those bills. I also don't believe there should be any clauses on the end of the statutes that we're passing, for sundowners to say they're going to expire in a year or two. We're going to be right back in the exact same boat where we were before. And also the amendments that some people have been speaking about, increasing taxes on corporations or businesses. I mean, it's really just a tax back on the people. They're just going to incorporate that into the goods and services. We'll be voting to put more taxes back on ourselves. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
Our second question for today. Wyoming's population of those aged 60 and over grew by 47% from 2010 to 2020, while the state's entire population grew by just 2%. We know 64% of all nursing home beds in Wyoming are paid for right now by the Wyoming State Medicaid program. What do you see as the greatest barrier to helping our older adults age in their homes and communities, and what solutions would you provide?
Well, first of all, staffing is probably going to be the number one issue. Education and funding, all three. We definitely need to see something at the legislative level where we're going to need to increase funding to Medicaid for home-based services, to be able to pay for people to stay in their homes. Probably, sorry, lost my space. Also, education is going to be pretty important. The state of Minnesota has a program where it's free online that teaches people and family members how to provide the proper care for seniors so they can stay at home and stay in their homes. It's something that our Department of Health could probably put together, and they have it free online through other states. It's a really great program. It's something we should probably be looking at. Also, I don't believe that we should be looking at increasing taxes, to pay for like the senior center and Meals on Wheels and those type of things. I believe they should, at the county level, we should probably be making cuts somewhere else to cover those things. They're just trying to put it back as a burden on people to increase property taxes by increasing the mill level. It's just not the way to go.
Our third and final question for today. Emergency services are not considered an essential service in Wyoming, and in some areas, ambulance services do not have sustainable funding sources. Over the last 10 years, Wyoming has seen 16 EMS service providers in the state fold or consolidate with another service. What solutions would you offer for ensuring access to ambulance services?
Well, First of all, we're dealing with a lot of rural areas, so location's a big deal, and also finance. Um, the legislature probably needs to set up some type of a grant just to help get people started in those types of areas. Um, Once they're started, even for volunteer departments, they really need to make sure that those are connected like to fire departments. There's a ton of grants out there that allow for that. Or if you end up hiring like a paid chief in your community um, for a fire department, there's a whole nother list of grants that people can gain access to be able to support things like that. Also, we have some programs through the Department of Health, for community emergency medical providers. Casper College teaches a course. It's for EMTs and paramedics in different counties. Then could use that as a way to go out and check on people and make sure they're okay and evaluate them right there in the home, whether they actually really need to be transported. It might cut down on potential transports, but also combining those services, not just EMS, but for transport services. A lot of the successful places that are being successful are using transport services to transport. There's a lot of money in that through insurance companies, taking people back and forth to hospitals and in and out of the state. So it's something else to look at.
Mr. Schoenwolf, you've been a good sport today. You've answered our questions. Now we want to make sure that you have 2 minutes to explain to the voters of Senate District 30 why you believe you're the man for the job.
All right. Well, for the last 35 years, I was worked in construction, was a home remodeler, I was a business owner in home care. I was a nurse, been a nurse since 2004. I strongly support teachers and healthcare workers, veterans. I support the mineral industry. I'm opposed to any cuts to education. I believe in the right to life. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Currently, our youth are struggling in a lot of different areas, and we really need to be looking closely at that and investing our time and resources into them, because they're our future. I believe, both of my opponents are really longtime standing politicians. One of them, it appears like he represents the state and he's all about filling the coffers, and the others talks about increased taxation and spending. I believe they're really both kind of disconnected from the citizens in Natrona County. I believe myself to be a statesman. I believe any type of increased taxation gets a resounding no from me, and a no to any expansion of government, really. My belief is just to represent the people and their true interest and needs. Senate District 30 incorporates about 20,000 people it represents. Usually about 6,000 people vote in a general election. Only about 3,000 people vote in the primary. This August 20th, if people really want their vote to count, the primary is going to decide who wins this seat. So if you want your vote to matter, you need to get out for the primary August 20th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Schoenwolf, for your time, and thank you to our viewers for joining in this video voter guide. We encourage you to keep checking Cowboy State Daily and AARP Wyoming's Facebook page for more voter guides in the days to come.